This is the greatest road show on earth. A celebration of man and his most remarkable machine, the Tour de France and the pedal bicycle. Invented 150 years ago, there are now 800 million bicycles.
There are some days when you get a good story, you've seen a good day's race, beautiful countryside, and you think they shouldn't pay you to do this.
And we'll be very happy with an American or an Italian. We'll be very happy. We like the best to win.
Nous voyons des millions de spectateurs tous les jours. Et ça, des millions de spectateurs voient Coca-Cola. Ça, pour nous, c'est très important.
The Tour, where French Alain pushes bike and rider to new limits.
When you come here and you see the people on the road and you see the importance of the race, I think that's one of the reasons why I want to win this race.
"200 riders, 3 relentless weeks, 4,000 kilometers of suffering." A stride in invention that outnumbers cars 2 to 1. The last advance in technology that everyone understood. Born of the running machine, nurtured by the high wheeler, matured with the safety bike. Greg LeMond, the ultimate tactician. And his acolytes, the Z-Team, sponsored by the purveyors of French children's clothing. LeMond defends the cyclists' crown of crowns.
You have to put up with a lot of attacks from top athletes, pressure of not only the team, pressure of yourself to try to win, pressure of the journalists, spectators, everybody wants an autograph, everybody wants 5 minutes. It gets very difficult to do the physical and the mental thing together for 3 weeks straight.
The Californian has already seen off Laurent Fignon of France, twice a Tour winner and last year's runner-up.
They are actually witnessing the retirement from the Tour de France of Laurent Fignon, and once he was in the car, he hid his face behind a newspaper and refused to give any interviews.
It's 1990. Again, the Tour has more drama, sharper focus than any bicycle race in the world.
Jan Carlsen, 24 years old, his first Tour de Trump, took first place in the 1989 Scandinavian Championships in the team time trial.
The latest imitation is American, a Tour dreamt up by a basketball commentator.
He just thought that there should be an American version of the Tour de France. He scribbled something down on a napkin. They dreamed up a name, the Tour de Trump, and he went in to Donald Trump and said, "What do you think of this idea? We'll call it the Tour de Trump." Trump laughed and said, "Come on, that's ridiculous." And then 10 seconds later, he said, "Sure, that's a good idea."
Trump was still ahead of the game in 1989. The Taj Mahal Casino in Atlantic City had yet to threaten his property empire. Hotels, an airline, next a bike race. Trump became main sponsor. There were over 100 competitors chasing prizes of $250,000. But the US had no tradition of long-distance racing, and organization was poor. By year 2, 1990, the profile of the Trump had barely cleared the horizon. 11 days around the East Coast, this was no Tour of America. But it was an airing for Greg LeMond, badly out of condition just 2 months before the Tour de France. If New York had virtually ignored this stage finish in Central Park,
your winner is Gaslick.
then the media did the same to the Trump leaders. All eyes were on the American hero, twice winner of the Tour de France, currently 85th in the Trump.
But it's been a great race for training, this race, and I think 4 days of recuperation in the Tour of Italy, it's what I need to get in shape for the Tour de France.
Not the best publicity for the Trump, but where was the sponsor? Donald was far too busy fighting for his financial life. The finish in Boston. After 1,100 miles, a winner from Mexico.
He did it for this. The winner's check, $50,000. Raul Alcala.
Le Monde was an hour and 40 minutes behind.
Alcala will share it with you. Corbell for all.
Like the Trump, the Tour de France sprang from a thirst for publicity and some bitter competition. It was launched by one daily cycling paper to upstage its rival. At issue was the Dreyfus affair, a clearly innocent Jewish army officer who had been convicted of spying. The anti-Dreyfus Journal dreamt up the tour as a campaign promotion. The date, 1903. Nine decades later, and still the world's top cycling event. Dawn in the Pyrenees. Overnight, thousands have driven to vantage points for this, the 16th stage, the climb to Luzardiden. Being here is being French. An election in July would be unthinkable. The only votes are for champions, daubed lovingly on the tarmac. It's relaxed. It's civilized. And here's the caravan, an hour ahead of the riders. For many, it's the anticipation, the carnival of caravan publicitaire, which is the best entertainment of all. These are the commercials. A sponsor's car can cost 600,000 francs. The riders are on their way. Greg LeMond has taken the lead. Laid low by a virus early in the season, no wins since the last tour, LeMond is back. He bucks the system. He doesn't ride in winter, never wins a stage, just the Tour. And way behind, the tactics of the peloton, pacers and shielders who've given their all to thrust stars like Le Mans to the front. For the leaders, it's just man against heat, gravity, utter fatigue. It can be too much. This was the English rider Tommy Simpson in 1967. He collapsed a kilometre short of the summit on Mont Ventoux. It had been his 7th Tour de France. Simpson was 29 and believed he could win. He'd once come 6th. Popular in France, more so in Belgium, Simpson's mentor had been Albert Burek, a cafe owner in Ghent. Burek looked after several British riders.
I was at a race in France, in Belgium, an amateur race. And I was watching the race and the tour was on television in front of the shop window. And people say to me, "There's an accident with Tom Simpson." I went to look in the window and I heard a commentator saying they just took Tom Simpson away in a helicopter. And they said he was very bad, but they couldn't say what it was. So I didn't watch the end of the race. There was some English lads there, but they wasn't too far. They was about 20 miles away from here. And that was about, I think, 4 o'clock afternoon sometime. And the race wasn't finished until 6 o'clock. I say to the other English lads, "Tell him I'm going home. They have to cycle home tonight. I want to know what's happening to Tom." So I drove home, and by the time I came home, My mum was sitting in the chair crying, in the armchair, and she told me Tom died, and I just collapsed.
The post-mortem revealed traces of amphetamines. At the restaurant, Burek was dismayed that drugs had been cited as a possible contributory cause of death, but he had once been pressed for stimulants by another of his racers and refused.
And he asked me to give him something. And he kept insisting in the morning. I said, all right, I'll give you something. Come to see me in the morning, I said, on Saturday morning. He was racing 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I gave him just an injection of, what do you call it, vitamins, B12. He didn't know what it was, though. And he won the race. He thought he took something, but he took nothing. He just took vitamins.
As Greg LeMond forces his way through a corridor.
Last 10 years, I've seen the sport clean up, and the riders are all for very, very strict drug controls. Nobody wants to hurt their health competing in a sport. It's already a hard enough sport, and who knows if it's even really healthy.
It's a mass media event. Commentators and competitors chatter to the world. Can Le Mans pull it off for the 3rd time? 27 networks are bouncing TV pictures to 60 million viewers. The Colombians are at fever pitch. The networks pay a fortune for the coverage, vital income, for the Tour de France must be big and commercial or die.
The major thing about the Tour de France now, because it's become an emblem of France, but it's now what the French wanted, what they call it mondialisation. They wanted to bring the Tour de France worldwide.
And that's just what they've done. 1,000 journalists all pushing out the word, all well disposed to the Tour. Unlike Sam Apps of the Herald Tribune, who could complain. With Le Mans now lying 2nd, it's a cracking story.
In the Tour de Trump, he had nothing. He had no legs. He had no stamina. He suffered dreadfully. And 2 months later, here he is doing wonderfully at it. So it's a total change. He's in it for the glory. He's in it for the satisfaction of winning races. But he does like to make money. And he's making $5.5 million over 3 years in his contract with Zed. And there are many American athletes who make much more than that. He wants to be paid comparably to other American athletes, and that's how he's revolutionized the sport.
The Americans have come to Paris. Le Mans as the catalyst who hiked all riders' fees 1,000%. Coca-Cola as a new main sponsor.
Le Tour de France est le 3e événement mondial et Coca-Cola doit être sur le Tour de France. Qu'est-ce qu'on donne sur le Tour de France? 400 000 boîtes de 15 centilitres et 45 000 boîtes de 33 centilitres. 200 000 sacs plastiques, 100 000 casquettes et toujours des millions de sourires. Ça, c'est Coca-Cola.
The Tour needs an annual turnover of some 60 million francs to keep it on the road. Coke alone is pumping in up to 18 million francs a year because of the Tour's heightened international exposure. Nothing would better ensure renewal of the cola dollars than a 3rd win for Le Mans. He won in '86, the first American ever, again in '89. Paris holds its breath.
Johan Museeuw has got the lead now, and the green jersey isn't too far away. The 2 great sprinters almost head-to-head, but Baffy is pushing hard too. But Johan Museeuw is going to try and take this stage, and Baffy is trying so hard to get it for his father, but he's going to be beaten. Johan Museeuw takes the light. Baffy is 2nd. And there is the hands of the winner of the Tour de France. Greg LeMond salutes the crowd for the 3rd time.
Still not a stage victory to his name, but who cares? Dad's done it again. The Z girls are ecstatic. And up on the podium, Le Monde and Mère Chirac have the limelight. But
Greg himself is a nice guy, but I think I kind of don't like what he's doing to cycling at the moment.
De Le Monde, moi je pense c'est un très très grand coureur. Je peux pas dire il est comme Merckx parce que Merckx pour moi c'est toujours encore le plus grand coureur qui est venu dans le monde peut-être, mais Le Monde il a une très grande classe et il sait qu'est-ce qu'il peut faire.
the legendary Eddie Merckx won the Tour a record 5 times. Now he's swapped racing for business, and the competition is just as fierce. Merckx has a small factory in his native Belgium producing exclusive racing bikes and trading on his fame and a ruthless reputation for winning, not just the Tour, but classic after classic.
Parce que si Greg LeMond voulait, il pourrait faire exactement la même chose et remporter beaucoup de victoires. C'est pas normal qu'un champion du monde n'ait pas gagné une seule course jusqu'au Tour de France avec un maillot de champion du monde. Et ça, je crois que c'est la réalité et que Greg LeMond ne veut pas voir la réalité et il cherche des excuses pour se défendre ses propres torts qu'il a.
Cycling has changed since he raced. It's much more competitive. We have much better trained athletes than when he raced. Eddie Merckx was always months in advance of everybody else because he trained through the winter. And I have people who race with him, and there's no comparison. We have maybe 10 Eddie Merckxes in the peloton right now.
Je crois que lorsqu'on a le maillot de champion du monde sur les épaules, on a une certaine responsabilité vis-à-vis de ses sponsors, vis-à-vis du métier qu'on exerce. Et je crois que Greg LeMond, cet hiver, a oublié qu'il était coureur cycliste et qu'il s'est mal préparé cet hiver. D'ailleurs, ça s'est vu dans le début de saison où Greg LeMond était vraiment nulle part. Et je trouve ça absolument dommage pour un garçon tel que Greg LeMond, qui est certainement le plus grand talent actuel du cyclisme, qui n'ait pas plus de respect pour son métier, c'est tout.
It's purely out of jealousy because I market a bicycle in the United States that is taking a little bite in his competition, and he would like to see my value or my name taken down a little bit. And to me, it's sad to see a champion like that. I really had a lot of respect for him until I got to maybe know him a little bit better, and especially after his comments. I just say it's sad that I hope when I stop cycling that I'll be kind enough to the young riders and the new generation that I'll keep, if I have bad words or bad feelings, I'll keep them to myself.
Le Monde may win nothing but the Tour de France, but that's the way he plans it. More than anyone, he's taken cycle racing into the financial big time. It was fitting that his 1990 victory marked the 150th anniversary of the invention of the pedal bicycle.
Next Thursday, we look at the origins and evolution of the bicycle. That's at the same time, 10 past 10.